Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mindalia TV livestream, where a lot of people around the world gather daily to watch the interviews and talks organized by Mindalia TV. In this occasion, we have Anna Brown with a talk titled The Battle of Light Within, Ascension to New Earth. Anna is a yoga instructor, meditation guide, and ascension way shower for the new earth, and she holds one-on-one sessions for awakening beings desiring to open their hearts, heal, and embody their true divine self. She offers guidance on multidimensionality, quantum existence, and she helps understand the expansive nature of our true being. All in all, Anna guides beings to their true frequency of Christ consciousness or simply love. But right before we welcome our very special guest, I would like to remind you all that Mindalia is a nonprofit organization, and our own main goal is to spread human knowledge and to elevate the frequency of energy around the world. If you would like to help the world through Mindalia, there are a few things you can do. One of them is to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mindalia TV. Another one would be to leave a positive comment down below this video, like it, or share it on your social media if that is what you would like to do. Also, to allow your interaction, please remember there is a chat on the side of your screen. You can use it to ask all the questions that you would like to our guest, who will kindly answer them by the end of her talk. It is time now to welcome Anna Brown on her talk, The Battle of Light and Dark Within, Ascension to New Earth. Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome to Mindalia.
Thank you. Much gratitude. Thank you for this opportunity to be here and share this love. So, guys, what is New Earth? What is Ascension? Ascension, in its simplest form, is just conscious evolution. Okay, so it's us moving from egoic consciousness into unity consciousness. Unity consciousness can also be known as Christ consciousness or crystalline consciousness. And it's our natural state. And that's the thing. It seems really far out there, but it is our natural state. And so if we think about this in dimensions, we have the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, and actually there's infinite dimensions. But focusing here, we're thinking of third to fourth to fifth. So in the third dimension, we're completely unconscious. We are operating on egoic consciousness, which is, I am this body, I am this mind, I am the role that I play, like I'm my job, I am the mother, the father, I am my pain, I am my traumas, I am, you're stuck in this like personality trait. And what we find out is when we wake up, we start to question reality. We start to think, okay, there's more to this than just the 9-to-5 job, the going to church, the raising the kids. There's more to that, right? And we start to question. We start to look for the truth. We look into spirituality, and we start maybe meditating and looking into presence, right? And that opens us up to the fourth dimension. So the fourth dimension is kind of where we start to explore reality. Like there's more than this, right? And that's when we're going through the inner work. So in order for us to move to New Earth, it's not like we're physically leaving our bodies and ascending like you would think in the Bible, like the rapture where the souls are leaving the body. It's not like that at all. What's happening is our physical body is moving there with us. And we do that through the inner work. And what is the inner work? The inner work, some know it as shadow work, right? That sounds a little creepy, right? We're like, oh, shadow, that's ooky spooky. It's really not ooky spooky. It really just is your unresolved pain, your traumas, things that have happened to you in your past. And it creates this kind of gunky buildup where you automatically react to situations instead of respond, right? Like we've all had that moment where someone's irritated us. We've gotten triggered. We've done things that are totally out of alignment and not aligned with love. That's the shadow. It's this part of us that acts irrational, that has these negative thoughts, that judges people, judges situations, and points the finger to everything but ourselves, right? So in the third dimension consciousness, which is the matrix, this is all a matrixing program, if we think of it that way. We are taught to point the finger at our governments, point the finger at our parents, at our traumas, at anything but looking inside, right? And so what moving to New Earth is I'm taking my flashlight and I'm looking inside of myself. What is going on in my inner realm, right? Because we are a collective consciousness. So what is going on in our inner realm projects out into our external. Okay, so I'm not saying that everything you see in the world when you turn on the news is you're projecting that you created that or whatever, but we are collective. So collectively, we co-create this world. Okay, and so if you're watching this right now, you are ascending, or you're about to step into that path of ascension, and you are here to embody unity consciousness. You are here to co-create the new earth. We co-create the new earth with our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our actions, our deeds. All of this co-creates the new earth, right? So if you think about the earth, like third dimensional earth, we have war, famine, poverty, lack. You know, it's just not a healthy place. Really, turn on the news, turn on any channel that gives you the news, and you're going to see violence. You're going to see lack and poverty, and it's their fault and their fault. And that's blame. That's lack consciousness, right? And so we are moving into this new way of being, which is love, which is operating from the heart center, right? So we're taught to be up here in our minds constantly, and that's ego, right? But when this is open, I always use this analogy. It's like the movie, The Wizard of Oz. You know how it goes from black and white to color. Black and white is your egoic consciousness. It's everything's bland. It's boring. There's no spark and zest to life. You're just constantly up in your mind, just worrying what is next. What is next? I have to prepare for this. I have to go to school. I have to get a job. I have to do this. And then by the time you retire, you look back and you're like, my God, what have I done with my life? Because that's the way the third dimension construct is set up. It's for you to be a slave to the system. And what me and many other beautiful beings here on this planet are doing today is helping our brothers and sisters wake up to the fact that you are a child of God, that you are divine, that you are a son of God. And I'm not trying to go dogmatic here or go into biblical, stuff, but the Christ, he said, I am the son of God. He was meaning like he is a sun, like a solar sun, and he's the light. And all of this, that is inside of us. The seed of Christ is within all of us. And when he was saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life, he's saying, like, look to me for the way of the consciousness that you truly are, right? And you might be wondering, well, then what's up with all this like egoic stuff? Well, that's a human distortion. We created that through our human egos, right? And then we can go into this, well, why are we having this? It's a human experience. So if we go into the perspective of non-dual, which is oneness. Everything is one. I am you, you are me, and I'm just having a different experience inside of this body, right? We see that from the unified field, we are all one, but we're just having these individual experiences, okay? And the point is to wake up within this experience, the dream, or Maya, some call it, right? And so how do we do that? We do that by opening our heart. And for a lot of people, it takes some work. It takes some work to get the cobwebs off of the heart, right? Because as soon as this heart is open, that's when it goes to that color scene in Wizard of Oz, when everything's gorgeous and beautiful and you get it. You just naturally get it. When this heart is open, you don't have to read a book about New Earth. You don't have to keep meditating, because it's just your natural state of consciousness starts coming in and you just understand it all. You get what this is. It's almost like a game. Right? And we're here to wake up in the game. Okay. So if you are completely new to this, how we step into doing the inner work is first we have to get present. We have to become present with our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, right? So that's like meditating, practicing mindfulness, all of these beautiful things like ancient yogis taught us. And once we become aware and present, we can start to see the programming going on in our bodies, right? So the matrix is inside your body, and then it's projected externally, right? And I was parachuted into a collective of extreme lack and unworthiness and self-hatred and doubt and tons of fear. So I used to live in hell, literally. I used to be a Catholic, and we would always talk about this hell place. Like, there's hell, right? No. Heaven and hell is a state of mind. It's a state of being. Look at the streets of any major city, and those beings that are living on the streets will tell you that is hell. Hell is not a place you go to. Hell is literally in here. It's inside the matrix programming, right? And so we have to look inside. And I'm not going to say that it's a cakewalk by any means, because it's not. It takes so much courage to look at your pain. It takes so much courage to be honest with what is going on in your life, to not point the finger at your government, to not point the finger at your child for crying and you blowing your fuse, because it's not the child's fault. You know, you just got triggered. You just had a response. And we've all been there if you've had a kid, right? Where you're just like, oh my gosh, right? And it's just patience and compassion and love. That is the way of Christ consciousness. So like Jesus said, you know, before you enter the temple, forgive. The temple is our body. The temple is what houses God. The temple is what houses the highest light, right? And so, and many of us in 3D, which I have been there too, you know, we treat our bodies like shit. Pardon my French, please. But we treat our bodies like crap. We fill it with junk food. We drink nonstop. We smoke. We do drugs, eating disorders, which I had one growing up. We do all of these things because we don't feel whole. And we will never feel whole by feeding the external world, by shopping, by sex. Any of that stuff is never going to complete you until you embody the truth that you are. And the truth that you are, my beloved brothers and sisters, is love. It's compassion. It's unity consciousness. That is your natural state. It just seems foreign because we've been asleep. We have like this veil over us. You know, a good example would be like some of those like arcade games when you got like the helmet on and you're here, but it's like you're seeing the game within here, right? But then as soon as you take the helmet off, you're like, whoa, it was just a game. Like I'm going back to like the real me, right? It's kind of like that. And that is the human experience. It's kind of a trip when we really get down to it. But we have to go inward. We have to look at these programmings, okay? And, you know, to begin, just a beautiful gesture of love is just putting your hands on your heart and breathing into that. That is a first step of just acknowledging, like, this is a simple act of love, just doing that, right? And, you know, kudos to all of you who are doing this inner work. Because I know some of you guys are watching this that have been on this path for a while. Some are new, and maybe some are just like, what is she even talking about, right? But something deep down in you knows like this is truth, like this is the way, right? The way is love. Why would any other way but love make sense? Really contemplate on that for a second. Why would any other option but love make sense? The egoic mind will say, well, but they did this, but there's war over there, but this person was a murderer. That person was a murderer, or there's terrorists because they're in extreme deep pain and they don't know who they are. When humans don't know who they are, they do extreme and insane things. When humans wake up and know who they are, we come together in community, in unity, in love, in compassion and forgiveness, right? We don't put people in prisons and, you know, treat them like crap, right? We have rehabilitation centers because we know that they just don't know who they are and they need love, right? There's just two things in this world, love and then lack of love, right? And the only thing that separates us from our true divine nature is our egos. And I really want to be straight here for a second that a lot of old school teachings are really masculine, like the oneness, non-dual, all is God, this is an illusion, your body's not real, all this kind of, the ego, kill it, get rid of it. And that's not love. If you really think of that, that's not from the heart center. That's not at all. It's very masculine. But with the return of the divine feminine, thank goodness, right? She's here to show us the way of an open heart. And that open heart is through the upper chakras, right? And the upper chakras is heaven. Okay, so this is like the bridge. The heart chakra is the bridge to the heaven. Okay, and we're operating typically in ego through our lower chakras. Like root chakra is all about survival. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to feed myself? You know, all this kind of stuff, right? And so with the return of the divine feminine, which is not like a gender thing, it's energy. Everything's energy. And what we're doing is divine feminine, divine masculine. So we need to have these oneness teachings because at the root of all things, we are one. We are one. We are cut from the same cloth. But there is a prime creator, a prime source that we were cut from. Okay. And then what we're doing with Ascension is blending these energies into unison, like a marriage. It's coming together so that we're not fractalized off anymore. We're not having these different aspects, but we unify together inside. Because when we're unified internally, how do you think our external world's going to be, right? But, you know, like Gandhi said, we have to be the change we want to see in the world. And, you know, we can read these quotes and be like, oh yeah, that's super cool. Like, yeah, just be the change. That's awesome. But it's so true. If we really feel into that, it starts here and then it's a ripple effect out. Okay. And so but it takes so much work, right? To go inward. It takes kahunas to go inward. And that's why Jesus said to forgive before you enter the temple, because you're going to find some gnarly stuff in there, guys. Because a lot of the stuff that's, you know, and I'm not going to go too deep in like past lives, parallel lives and stuff like that, because I want to keep it simple and straightforward. But, you know, it's not just this lifetime. You know, we're a collective consciousness. So sometimes you're going to feel stuff in your body that's from the collective. A thought might come through your mind and you're like, my goodness, why did I just think that thought? Where did that memory come from? That didn't even happen in this lifetime, or I don't remember that happening, you know, and we can get stuck into that. And then we can start judging ourselves and be like, well, that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Or that happened to me. And now I feel guilty and ashamed and all of these things. And I feel for you, because I've been in that state before where I've just drenched in guilt and shame and unworthiness for things I've done or things that have been done to me. And I just want you to know that our source, our creator, is not sitting up there judging you at all. Our creator is doing nothing but pulsing love and light and compassion and gratitude for you being here. You have to know this. You have to know that there is nothing but love here, because many of us have been trained and believed, especially if we are raised in like major religions, that there's this final judgment, that we're sinners, that basically that we're like the scum of the earth. That's why that, like the song Amazing Grace, you know, saved a wretch like me. We are not wretches. We are children of the one. We are divine in form, and we are just here waking up, taking the sleep out of our eyes and being like, my goodness, wow, like this is deep. This is much bigger than that, right? And so a lot of people might be like, well, then why does God let all this happen? Why does the prime creator just let all this happen? Well, we're in a free will experience. So free will means I can get this inspiration. Like, I know this is what I should do. Some people call this conscience. Like, I have the conscience, like the little angel on my shoulder and the devil, right? If you will. And we'll hear that, but we're like, no, I'm going to go with that option anyways, even though I know this is the right option. That's your free will. And it's honored. It's extremely honored here, so you can have your experience. Because, I mean, think about it, guys. That is how loving our creator is, that it's saying, I love you so much. Go out and create. Go out and create. And I will let you choose freely, because I love you so much. Right? It's hard to understand that from the human ego and the human mind, because we're trained of right and wrong, and this is good and bad. And human love is conditional, right? It's, you do that for me and then I'll love you. You behave this way and I'll love you, or do this and, you know, I'll accept you. And that's not our creator's love. Our creator's love is limitless, it's boundless, and it's timeless, and it's free. Our God does not, if you don't like the word God, just say universe or life, whatever resonates with you, but we're talking about the same energy. It's not inside time. Time and space is for the 3D experience. When we get into the fifth dimension, it's fluid. Everything's fluid and it's perpetual now. And that's excuse me. God is quantum, which means you are too, which means we're multidimensional. Okay, so like if you've had these teachings of like timelines, there's different timelines, or the law of attraction or quantum physics. And if you change your frequency, you'll attract new things. And this is very true. But a lot of the times what beings are doing, they're trying to manifest through their egos, right? And you're never going to be fulfilled, even if you manifest the money, even if you manifest a new house, even if you manifest beautiful clothing and friendships and all this kind of stuff, until you are connected with our source. You're embodying your soul, which is, you know, source. You're always going to have like this sense of lack and need, and just like something's not right. And you're going to keep looking and grabbing and digging for everything in the external world to make you feel good, right? And I've been there. I know we've all been there, right? It's like, oh, this drink's going to make me feel better. You know, watching that movie or going to do that's going to make me feel better. Having more money will make me feel better, but it never, ever, ever does, because that's not what you're looking for. On the deepest level, your soul is trying to wake you up to connect back with the prime creator. Okay. So ascension is basically your humans ascending and your soul's descending, and you're meeting in the middle, if you want to think of it that way. Me even trying to explain this process in human language is a disservice to the one, but we do our best, right? You can't even put into language what source is. You just can't, but we do our best. So, and that is what's happening. Our soul's waking up in our bodies. And for a lot of us, it's kind of this huge wake up call. Like a lot of us, maybe we've lost our jobs. we have a divorce. We've lost a loved one. We come down with a serious illness. And it's all because our soul is trying to wake us up to a greater purpose. Okay. It's why spend our whole lifetime working a job you hate, feeling miserable about yourself, you know, because for me, how I was raised being a Christian is like, work hard, do your stuff, go to church on Sunday, and then you're going to go to heaven. No, babes, we're bringing heaven here. That's what we're doing here. We're bringing heaven here. And that's mastery. That's the ascension. And we're here to teach beings about this. Okay. Cause it's not a physical place you're going to. Okay. And that's, you know, the saying, home is where the heart is. When the heart is open, it really doesn't matter where you're at, what you're doing, you're at home, because this is where the soul comes through. This is where your higher self or God or whatever you want to label that as comes through. Okay. So you could be in the middle of a war zone, or you could lose all of your belongings. Your house could burn to the ground. Yeah. You might be like, oh man, where am I going to go tonight or whatever, but you still will have love in your heart, because that's your true state, and your true state's immortal. This is not. This is for the experience of being a human being. Your true state is infinite, and it's boundless, and it's timeless, and it's free. It can never die, right? The kingdom of heaven is within, and nothing the ego can say or do or commit will ever taint the gold that's in here. And that's truth. And I know on a deep level, you can feel this, even if your ego right now is talking like, what is she talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Or that's just your mind trying to figure this out, and it's not going to. That's not going to come along for the ride. Like they always say, like the ego gets integrated, right? So the ego doesn't actually die. You integrate it, and aligns with divine will, right? So we have the ego will, and then we have the divine will. And the divine will is to bring love here. The ego's will just wants money. It wants things. It just wants short-term happiness and all of that, right? But you know, the soul is here to create peace on earth. And that's what we're here to do as a collective. And if you're watching this, then you're one of those beings that is here to do that, right? And like I said, it's with that inner work. It's looking within, seeing what arises in your field. And always the best approach to healing is love and compassion. And for a lot of people, they don't know how to love themselves. You know, and a lot of people who follow like non-dual teachings or oneness teachings might be like, well, why do I have to love myself if I'm God? That's like really silly. Well, we're having a human experience, and until you're fully embodied with the presence of the one, you're going to have to practice. Ascension is a practice, just like yoga is a practice, just like meditating is a practice. We're in form, so we're going to have to practice. That's part of the experience the one signed up for. So we're just going to have to roll with that. So you have to just trust this, okay? And for me and my experience, this is just my experience, self-love is what heals. The love of self, right? So if you have some, let's just say anger arises in your body, I love you. I love you so much. I'm sorry, you know, because these aspects of us that are just say angry or depressed or anxious, they're fractals of you that never got loved. So maybe if you were abused as a child, like maybe you had an eating disorder and no one helped you, even though they knew about it. Maybe you had a drug addiction. Maybe you were abandoned as a child, which I am so sorry if any of those things have happened to you from the bottom of my heart. It's like a child coming to you in pain. See your emotions as that way. It's like, am I okay right now? Is this okay? And you, as a beautiful mother or father would, you say, yes, honey, everything's okay. I love you. I'm here for you. You know, like the, I'm sorry, I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. That's like a whole Hawaiian saying to help heal. And that's the thing, guys, is your love is its liberator. So we have to realize that we are the power, that we are the transformers of our lives, and that we do it all through the power of love and forgiveness, right? And it starts with presence. So egos can't change egos, right? Matter can't change matter. So we have to go from particle to wave. And we do that by being pure consciousness. And pure consciousness is accessed through presence, right? So if fear arises, you have to go deeper than the fear. And that's why I followed a beautiful teacher by the name Matt Kahn in the beginning of my awakening. And he taught all about loving what arises in your body and externally. And that just calms your nervous system down so that you can go deeper into the body and bring forth that pure consciousness, right? Because most of the time, our overstimulated central nervous system, that's like the ego. Like we're super anxious, we're doing busy work for like no reason. It's like, why am I mopping my floor at 2 a.m.? Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, why am I doing this? And it's because there's this, it's until you're whole, until you make that connection with the truth that you are, there's always going to be this underlying dis-ease, right? And, you know, medical science and everything is really starting to catch up that when you're in a state of dis-ease, it creates disease, right? We're really starting to understand this association with it, you know, but we're taught to blame it on our genetics and all these things. I'm not saying we're not predisposed, you know, that's totally possible, but like, that's your dharma. That's why you're here. You're here to transform that through love, you know, and quantum physics, neuroscience, all of this stuff, quantum mechanics is showing that we are placebos, that we literally can change our state of being. And I'm living proof of that. I used to, like I said, walk the layers of hell. Like I could say, you know, like Dante's Inferno, I used to walk that. I used to live in that. I used to hate myself so much. And I'm living proof of this. Like we are a placebo, right? But, and just like in placebo studies, if you don't know what that is, it's in psychology or in medical science. If a new pill comes out, they'll have 2 study groups. And one of the study groups will get a sugar pill, just pure sugar. And then the other group gets the active, actual medication. But what they do, the scientists or the people that are administering the study will say, oh, they're both the active pill. And what they have found out is that the beings who took the sugar pill actually healed themselves, even though it was just a sugar pill. Why? Because of belief. Belief is so powerful, my friends, right? So if you believe you are a victim, if you believe you are powerless, if you believe you are a slave to the system, we're co-creators. We're not victims of reality. We are creators of reality. And it's time to take our power back, right? And there's that masculine aspect. So the masculine's like, I am powerful. I can do this. It's that action, that outflow energy. And the divine feminine is the loving, the healing, the basking and allowing, right? And so this is not just airy-fairy spiritual stuff. It's scientifically proven. And a great guy to look up for this, if you want to look more into like, I am the placebo, is Dr. Joe Dispenza. He is a brilliant man of bridging spirituality and science, like brilliant, my friends, I tell you what. And he's all about changing your state of being to what you want to be, right? Of course, what I advocate for is love and compassion and unity consciousness. So, you know, like with anything, take what you like and leave what you don't, right? Whatever resonates with your being, take it. And then what doesn't, just ditch it. But you have to know that you are powerful. You have to know that you are made of stardust, that you're made of love, and that you can transform your entire world. You totally can. Am I saying it's going to be like that? No, unless you're Eckhart Tolle, right? Like he had a crazy abrupt awakening, which, just as an aside, if you're trying to get into presence and meditation, check out The Power of Now, beautiful book. He had like a very abrupt awakening, and it's because he had an extreme mission here to help spread this love and unity consciousness. But other than that, if you're just like the rest of us here that are waking up and ascending and evolving, it's going to take work. It's going to be a day-to-day intention of aligning your will with a higher state of consciousness, with love, with peace, with unity, right? And you're going to mess up some days. Some days you're going to backslide. Some days you're going to act out of alignment, and look at it as nothing is a mistake, but everything is a gift here to help you. Okay. I always say the state of gratitude is the ultimate receivership. So if you can see everything is a gift here to help you and to catapult you into higher states of consciousness, your life will transform, because truly everything is perception, right? So I don't even know how many people are watching this right now, but each and every one of you is going to have a different take on this watching me. You're going to have a different viewpoint. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I totally get that. She's so cool. Or yeah, I resonate with that. Or, oh my gosh, no, like this is click, I'm out, you know, and that's just perception, right? So perception is, it can be a prison cell or it can be a gift, right? You just take what you like and you leave what you don't. But we have to realize that we're powerful, divine beings of love. And me just telling you that isn't enough, right? Because the experience is everything. Because we can read all of these books, we can do all of our spiritual gymnastics and, you know, meditate for hours on end and wear our beads and dress all in white and, you know, act like we are poised, perfect, and amazing. But until you have the experience of God, of the oneness, of the pure bliss and love, everything's conceptual and it's in your mind. But once you have that experience, your body lights up, you get the goosebumps, your heart blasts wide open. You just want to hug strangers, just flip money out to everybody. You don't even care if you have just a box of crackers in your cabinet to eat. You just give that away because you are coming from this complete state of wholeness and completion because you are God in disguise, right? And I'm not saying like the ultimate, right? Because we work together. It's a co-creation. We work together, a dance. A lot of people say this is a dance. So you and the higher power are working together to co-create, right? But you feel the love of our one creator. You feel it. And until you feel it, it's conceptual and it's something you strive for and it's something you read about and you talk about on blogs and forums and all of this stuff. But that's what it is, guys. I mean, in that big essence and the sum is we are integrating our higher levels, our higher states of consciousness into the body. We're bringing God into form. Okay. And I think we're getting close. I'm going to finish up with a little bit here that your state of consciousness is already extremely expanded. You're already complete. So the physical body is just playing catch up. And that's why a lot of you will have physical body symptoms like the flu, like extreme lethargy, headaches. You know, some people have to be hospitalized with some of this stuff because we're moving from carbon DNA to crystalline DNA, right? 2 strands to higher strands of DNA, 12, 48 higher strands of DNA, right? And you're like, what? Yeah, junk DNA is not real. Nature doesn't create junk, my friends. So that's what it is. You're already expanded. You're already perfect. You're already whole. Our body is just catching up to our expanded state of consciousness. That's what this is. Okay. And I think I'm about 30 minutes, so I'm going to go and wrap it there.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. We have reached now the end of your lecture. Again, thank you for sharing all this information with us. Before we continue to the questions from the audience, I would like to remind you all that Mindalia is a nonprofit organization, and our main goals are to spread human knowledge and to promote planetary solidarity by all means. An important way to collaborate with us is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do. We're constantly posting lectures and interviews about all of these topics. Also, please give us a like or leave a positive comment down below. That way you're helping us reach even more people who can benefit from the content that we share in our channel. It is now time to pass on to the questions, and I'm going to have you on screen. I'm going to read out loud to you the questions from our audience.
Sounds great.
So the first question we have, just give me 1 second, please. Is from, Nazca. She's asking, can tattoos affect the energy on our different bodies, mental, etheric, etc.?
Did you say tattoos?
Yeah.
I know. See, and like we have all these beliefs of that's just a human belief. It doesn't matter if you have a freaking horn coming out of your head. It's never going to affect you. I have tattoos all over my body. I'm not sleeved or anything, but I've healed myself and I have tattoos. So that's just your ego is just trying to create a way of a block between you and the divine, and there is no block. It doesn't matter what you have on your skin. You could have a big L on your forehead and that divine is still loving you and pulsing love at you. It's not judging you. You see what I'm saying? So it does not matter what your appearance is. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter any of that. That's just the human ego just trying to figure this out, and that's totally okay. But no, that's never going to stop you at all. No.
Thank you. From the same viewer, we have another question. It says, how to integrate your shadow Can you give a practice or tips and tricks to really make a good job? I feel that even when I clean myself every day from low energy, I still have more to clean.
Okay, so I used to be in that too, like where, you hear a lot about the light workers where we'll do like the bubbles, the shields of light, or saging, or wearing crystals all over our bodies. And until we actually do the inner work, which is we have to go inward, we have to love our hearts, we have to love what arises. We can't just clear it, because that's kind of saying, I don't want to deal with you, right? Just I'm going to put a shield up but not actually look inside. So we actually have to feel. You feel to heal. You have to feel these emotions, these thoughts, these uncomfortable situations that arise in your body to heal it. That's how you integrate it. You shine the light of awareness on it. So you have to be present. And then you also, just say, for example, you have a bunch of negative thoughts. You have to start having like affirmations. You have to start rewriting the script that's going on in your head, right? Because most of us have a story that's playing in here, and we have to start rewriting the story, right? So if you're constantly telling yourself like, I'm ugly, I don't love myself, you have to be, I am beautiful, I am perfect, I am free, I am one with the divine, right? And is it going to feel authentic at first? No, it takes time. It takes day-to-day practice of doing this. But the ultimate healer is you loving what arises in your body. And sister, check out the book, Whatever Arises, Love That by Matt Kahn, because it'll transform your life. And it's really good about integrating the shadow. But it's presence, it's awareness, and it's your own courage to love whatever arises, okay? All those traumas, all those memories, you have to love it all to integrate it. That's how we integrate it, okay?
Great, thank you. And now the next question comes from Ecuador. It says, when I start thinking there's not a couple for me, or a partner, I think she means, isn't it true that I'm not going to find a person who respects and loves myself, loves me? Sorry, it's a little tricky.
It's okay.
Let me read it again. When you start thinking there is not a couple for me, is it not true you're not going to find a person who respects and loves you as you love yourself and him or her? Is that thought from light or dark?
That's just, yeah. I mean, if we want to think of it as like that, it's just darkness. It's just unconsciousness. Because, okay, this is what happens when you start doing the inner work, when you start loving yourself unconditionally. I mean, unconditionally. So, I mean, even if you have the craziest thought come up or the emotion, when your relationship to yourself is the most important relationship, and I'm not saying like get away everybody and your kids like in a closet and your boyfriend's out in the yard because you have to make yourself so important. I'm just saying, you love yourself. When you start cultivating self-love and self-awareness of what is going on in your own inner world, it starts reflecting back through the external world. Your relationships will get better. Why? Because you have a good relationship with your own self, right? It all starts here, okay? So if you're trying to manifest a soulmate or any of those things, the universe is going to, or God, whatever you want to call this, is going to have you be with yourself first and really get serious and okay here until the external reflects that and a soulmate comes forward, right? Because until you're whole and, loving yourself first, you're only going to keep materializing and manifesting people who are not whole. And you're just going to kind of have this not healthy, not stable, not loving relationship, if that makes any sense.
All right, we're going to the next question. It comes from Eric. He says, why or where does latent irritability or anger come from in the ascension process?
Where does the anger come from? Okay, so anger is I used to have extreme anger, and anger, it takes you over very, very quickly, right? And you have to have like extreme awareness. So it's not that it comes from anywhere. It's part of the collective you were in. It's maybe as a child you were abused. Maybe you were never listened to. Maybe all of your passions and all of your interests were put to the side because like your parents were like, oh no, that's not okay. Or you told yourself that's not okay. And it's basically like pent up passion. And so aggression is just trying to get your attention. That's all it is. And all you have to do is love it. It doesn't have to be from this lifetime. It can be from another lifetime. Keeping it simple, just love whatever arises, right? Because I still will have flares of like, oh, there's some anger. Just see it as a child that's coming to you, or like a kid having a tantrum, or a kid that gets angry or whatever. If you can look at yourself like that, It's so much easier because it's just energy. It's just energy that wants your love. It's energy that wants your understanding, and compassion and forgiveness for the life it has lived, whatever that looks like, because I'm not sure of your experience, but it just wants to know that what it lived was valid and that it's okay to be angry. And you just need to sit with that anger and just put your hand on your heart and just be like, hey, I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know exactly what to tell you, but I'm going to sit with you. I love you. And I'm so sorry you feel this way right now. Okay. And shine your presence on it. Shine your awareness on it. Okay. Oh, and another thing just like I suggested to the girl before you, please check out the book, Whatever Arises, Love That by Matt Kahn. It's great supplemental material for integrating the shadow and really understanding these emotions. Okay.
Thanks, Anna. The next question says, what specific small things can we do in our daily lives to grow our consciousness?
Presence, practice mindfulness. So if you're this is what I would do for a really long time, like, because I hand wash my dishes. When you're doing your dishes, a lot of us will check out or we'll watch like a YouTube video or we're listening to the music or, we're like, oh man, what am I going to do after I'm done with the dishes? Be with the dishes, like fully be with the dishes. Whatever you're doing in your day-to-day life, be there fully as if that is the most important task. Because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So when you bring full consciousness, full awareness, full presence to whatever you're doing, you're just creating this beautiful path for what the next moment is going to bring, and the next moment, and the next moment. You see? So that is why presence and bringing this forward is so important, because presence is the only thing that can transform your life. That and love. But when you're in presence, love arises naturally, right? So whatever you're doing, wherever you are, be there fully. Like, notice the water washing over your hands. Notice how it feels. Notice the air quality, notice the temperature in the room, like these little things that makes you like a Jedi to really come in tune with your surroundings. So if that makes any sense, be there fully.
Thank you. The next question says, how can I escape the trap of ego and act and live in unity and compassion?
Good question. Good question. There's a lot of ego traps, isn't there? And we get caught in doubt and fear. And even I still get these like doubts and worries and fears and stuff. And it's okay. It's just, it's scared. Like a lot of us have this scared energy, and you just have to, everything goes back to aligning with pure consciousness and meditating and focus. It's all about focus, because where you place your focus is where you're placing your energy, right? So if every day you set the intention, intentions are a big thing, my friends. I should have mentioned this in the video, but it's okay because I'm mentioning it now. That say, today, may I be more loving, more present, and more grateful than I have ever been before. Set that intention at the beginning of your day. And then throughout your day, you're going to have bumps and bruises, right? Because the universe is going to throw stuff at you to see how you're going to respond. Remember your intention you set at the beginning of the day and respond with that, right? So if, say your kid just knocked like their whole spaghetti plate off the table, and you're just like, right there, right? Because it can be, you can get taken over by anger, you can get taken over by aggression. But if you have presence, you can respond instead of react. And then that's how you move to a different timeline. That's how different things start getting attracted into your reality, because you're not living in the past. You're creating a new future because you're not responding the same way. It's like a flashcard. You're responding different, right? So next time, maybe you always respond to your boyfriend the same way, or your dog or your cat. Try something new. Have the awareness to answer differently, okay? It's all about, it all boils down to presence and love. What would love do? What would love do in this moment, right? And then go from there, right?
Thank you, Anna. We have another question that goes around the same aisle. Maybe these answers just answers this question, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It says, I have a hard time with my partner judging each other endlessly. What can I do to stop it? Why does it happen so often?
Oh, I'm right there with you. I've been there. I have a boyfriend and a little 2-year-old. So I've been on training grounds with us for a long time, and we still have some bumps, and we're just like, I totally get it. And what it is if he's not on a spiritual path, and that's the thing, is maybe he is. Maybe he needs to start meditating, and you start meditating, and you guys both work on each other. Because it's, even if you are embodied and you're walking around like empowered and you are whole inside, and he's still living in lack consciousness and he's not working on himself, it's never going to work. So that is something you have to listen to your own heart and come from integrity and really open up to, maybe pray, you know, and tap in, because maybe your journeys aren't going to go all the way together. Maybe they will, but if he's willing to work on himself, if maybe he's willing to start meditating and kind of seeing what's going on in his inner world, together you can work together to build a brand new relationship. Because I'll tell you right now that my boyfriend and I, we built our relationship on unconsciousness and lack. And together throughout these years, we've worked together on becoming more conscious together. But that was a choice we made together. Do we still have bumps and bruises? Yes. But we learn from those mistakes and we go on, and we realize if I get triggered or if he gets triggered, that's my stuff. And I got to go love my heart, and I got to go see what's going on in my world so that I'm not blaming him, because there's no one to blame. There's just everything to love, right? And like I said, you'll just have to really hone in here to your guidance if this is a relationship that needs to go forward, or if you can work on it together through love, through compassion and forgiveness, and really bring consciousness and presence together. You know, maybe ask him if he wants to start meditating, or show him the book The Power of Now, or a YouTube video that's about love and presence, you know. And if he's like, yeah, I can do that, then there you go. That's beautiful. That's a start. Okay. But it all starts here. Okay.
Thank you, Anna. Mm-hmm. Another question says, what kind of meditation do you experiment? Can you give a demonstration?
Kind of meditation. So there are so many awesome meditations out there, my friends. You know, the ones that you got, the visualizations, you got like the binaural beats and all of this kind of stuff. And those are great. They are really great. But sometimes the best meditation to do is just to set a timer on your phone for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes if you're not used to meditation, 15, 20 if you are. Excuse me, so sorry. And just place your hands on your heart and notice your breathing, right? Notice your breath, and inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And what most people do, they'll kind of take that too fast of a deep breath, and it's not calming the nervous system and loving your heart. So if you're anxious and nervous, or you're getting angry, go find some quiet time and just, you know, don't like do the visualizations, but just come here and just place your hand on your heart, because that's saying, hey, I'm here for you, honey. So we all have an inner child inside of us, right? That lives right here in the heart. And we just do, and it's like, oh, I'm being supported right now, okay? Because most of the time you just need your own support, right? And you just focus on saying, I love you. It's like a mantra. I love you. I love you. And not like, I love you, get away. I hate this pain. I hate this emotion. Get out of here. But like truly, like how would you tell a cute little puppy or a 2-year-old you love them? Like that, like genuine, pure love, right? And sometimes I'll do like, may you be blessed. And I bless my own heart, right? But I do all kinds of meditations. This morning I did a Joe Dispenza meditation. It's beautiful. Check out his YouTube. He's got some shorter ones and long ones, like 45 minutes, but you really have to hone into your guidance and your intuition of what is good for me in this now. Like if I'm in a lot of pain, maybe just sitting for 10 minutes and focusing on my breathing is good. Maybe telling myself I love myself for 10 minutes is a good meditation, right? So for me, it's always the love.
Great. The next question says, how can we work with our higher selves to create a better reality?
How can we work with our higher selves? Okay, so first, if you are still like really up here in the head, if you still have like some traumas that are coming up, if you still are operating in that kind of egoic consciousness, in order to hear your higher self, because your higher self is always there. The divine is always there telling you what to do, is kind of guiding you. Like I said, it's your conscience. But most of the time we can't hear it because it's clouded. We got all these cobwebs going on up here and we can't fully hear it. It's a dim, dim, dim light. But the more that we open our hearts, and we open our hearts through love and forgiving everything in our past, forgiving the past turns into wisdom, right? And wisdom has a way more beautiful future than just living in that pain, right? Because pain is what drives most of us. And so when you open your heart, that's when like the higher self really comes through, and you can start operating and working together in unison. So it takes some time. We got to do the shadow work first, a lot of the inner work to get that it's almost like debris, like you're taking off coats so that the pure light can shine through. So it's just the presence, the meditation, watching the thoughts, because your higher self is never going to say you're never going to get it right. Your higher self is not telling you you are a loser. Your higher self is not saying, you know, all of these things. That's your ego. That's shadow. your higher self is just your cheerleader, like, yeah, girl, yeah, guy, you got this. I love you. You rock. You're going to do so great. That's your higher self. Your higher self is unconditional support and love, no matter what you've done. Even if you've slipped and gone back to drinking or drugs or some kind of addiction, that's your higher self is always there pulsing and calling you forward with love, with love. And so you have to open the heart, and we open the heart through our inner work with love and forgiveness and presence. Okay. It all boils down to present. Are you present here right now? Are we up here? Are we daydreaming? Pure presence. And then with pure presence, that's when it can come through. Okay.
Thank you, Anna. I think we have reached the last question. And somebody's saying, what do you mean by crystal DNA?
Crystalline DNA. So, okay. A lot of this stuff is just, like I was saying, we cannot fully understand everything of the divine through the human language. So carbon is like dense, right? Like, okay, so think of this. That's a good example. Diamonds are created underground and they're carbon. It starts as like a carbon, and it's created through intense pressure and heat. Think of you as this diamond being created. You are this little carbon under the ground. Oh my gosh, we're underground right now. And so the pressure is the day-to-day life, the polarities, your pain, your traumas, that's pushing you to wake up, right? And then from that heat, the heat of living as a human and having this experience is what's shaking you. And then pop comes the top is this diamond. That's your true nature. And that's exactly what's happening with our DNA. We're moving this from carbon to crystalline or diamond or whatever you want to call this. And it's just your true nature. And so that's what I mean by that. Is we're from density consciousness to unity. So dense is like the shadow. I'm murky. And we're coming up out of the ground into this, I'm a diamond, you're a diamond. That's who you are. That's your true nature. And that's what I mean by that. So if that makes any sense.
Great. Thank you, Anna. We appreciate all the information and the questions that you had answered. Before we finish, I would like to give you a moment just to say goodbye to our audience and to give us your information, your contact information, so our Mindalia TV audience knows how to find you.
Absolutely, guys. First off, thank you guys so much for whoever chimed in here today. I totally appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I am on Instagram as Anna E. Brown 7. And you can also email me at theheartofcreation @hotmail.com if you would like to do a session with me, or if you just have any questions, or if you forgot any of the YouTube stuff or Instagram stuff I just said, just email me there, okay? So that's where you can reach me at. A website is to come. It is on its way. So thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And thank you to all our audience for your important participation. Remember, you can always watch these and other videos on our YouTube channel, Mindalia TV. Don't forget to subscribe or like this video, and we hope to see you again on the next Mindalia TV Live. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.